Three most dangerous muscle cars you won't believe are real. American muscle cars are legendary for their speed, power, and looks. But some of them were built with brawn, not brains, and paid for it with crashes, rollovers, and outright tragedies. These three muscle cars weren't just fast, they were downright dangerous. And yes, people got hurt. Support the channel by subscribing, and liking your support gives us great motivation to make more and more cool video reviews and stories about them. Thank you. We begin. Number 3. 1970 Chrysler 300. Hearst, a muscle car in a tuxedo, with the handling of a yacht. The 1970 Chrysler 300 Hearst was a one-year-only special edition created through a collaboration between Chrysler and Hearst Performance, better known for their high-performance shifters and muscle car parts. It was meant to be a full-size, luxurious land missile, and on that front, it absolutely delivered. Under the hood sat a monstrous 440 cubic-inch V8 with a 4-barrel carburetor, churning out 375 horsepower and 480 pound-foot of torque. It launched like a rocket in a straight line, especially for a 4,200-plus pound two-door cruiser. It was essentially a muscle car stuffed inside a Chrysler luxury coupe. But there was a catch. The rest of the car wasn't built for speed. Brake fade after a few stops meant you were relying on hope and momentum. Soft suspension and excessive weight led to massive body roll in corners. The car felt floaty at high speeds, not exactly reassuring. It had the raw muscle, but none of the finesse. Cream white body with gold accent stripes and matching gold fiberglass, hood insert. Subtle Hearst badges, and a unique deck lid spoiler. No vinyl roof, a rarity for the time, to enhance its muscle tone. Only about 485 units were built, making it ultra-rare today. Despite all the muscle and unique styling, the 300 Hearst was too big for the performance crowd, too crude for luxury buyers, too expensive for the average muscle car fan. It was caught between markets and ultimately a commercial flop. Chrysler quietly shelved the idea after just one model year. Number 2. 1970 Dodge Super Bee 446 Pack Brute Force. No apologies. Zero refinement. The 1970 Dodge Super Bee 446 Pack was Detroit muscle distilled into its most raw and rowdy form. If the base Super Bee was a street brawler, the six-pack version was a full-blown bouncer with a bad attitude. The heart of the beast was the 440 cubic-inch six-pack V8, named for its three two-barrel carburetors. It pumped out a factory-rated 390 horsepower, though real output was often higher, and 490 pound-feet of torque. Instant wheel spin even on dry pavement. Zero traction on wet roads, unless you liked driving sideways. A quarter-mile rocket that cared more about speed than safety. Handling was laughable. It cornered like a barn. Brakes were minimal for a car this fast, suspension was stiff, but still not sporty. It didn't care if you were smooth, it only cared if you launched hard and made a lot of noise doing it. For 1970, the Super Bee got a facelift with a new split grille, bumblebee wing nose, exclusive to that year. It looked like it was sneering at you, and it kind of was. Bold graphics, hood scoops, and optional Ramcharger fresh air induction completed the intimidating package. The 446-pack version was more affordable than the legendary 426 Hemi, but nearly as quick. It became an icon for street racers and gearheads who wanted bang for the buck. However, few survived without being wrecked due to over-enthusiastic driving modded to death, parked in garages once the fuel crises hit. Number 1. 1966 Dodge Coronet 500 HEMI. The Coronet 500 HEMI was Dodge's idea of a full-size family car that could absolutely obliterate a drag strip. It combined classic American big car styling with the fire-breathing 426 HEMI, a motor born on the racetrack and only reluctantly tamed for the street. Factory rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque cross-bolted mains, hemispherical combustion chambers, and dual 4-barrel carbs. Despite its street title, this was essentially a race engine with mufflers. It idled like a beast on a chain and roared when unleashed. Many consider these power numbers underrated. Real output was closer to 470 to 500 horsepower. While the Coronet 500 looked clean and reserved, the driving experience was anything but. Suspension was standard B-body fare. Fine for cruising, terrifying when cornering at speed. Brakes were drum-based unless upgraded. Prone to fade after a few aggressive stops. Steering was vague and slow, typical of the era. It was absolutely built for quarter-mile sprints, not winding back roads. You could race from red light to red light, but don't ask it to take a tight corner at speed. You might meet a ditch. The Coronet 500 trim meant a slightly nicer interior. Bucket seats, optional center console, and some chrome. But it was still mostly utilitarian. The focus was on what was under the hood, not behind the wheel. Only around 730 Coronet 500s were built with the street Hemi in 1966, making them very rare. At the time, they were expensive, hard to insure, and often misunderstood by casual buyers. Today, however, they're prized collector cars, especially when factory original and uncut.